Hello everyone. In this video, we shall discuss how to solve equations that involve absolute values. So let us define what is an absolute value first. So let x be a real number. Then the absolute value of x, symbolized by the following, is equal to x if x is non-negative, or if x is greater than or equal to 0, or it is negative x whenever x is negative. So for example, if x is equal to positive 5, then the absolute value of x is equal to the absolute value of 5, which is simply positive 5. However, if x is equal to negative 3, then the absolute value of x is equal to the absolute value of negative 3. And from the definition of the absolute value, we have to use negative x. So this means that we have negative of negative 3, which will turn out to be positive 3. Now, in solving for equations having absolute values, we will consider three cases. So case number one is whenever the absolute value of ax plus b is equal to k, where k is non-negative, or whenever k is greater than or equal to 0. So to solve this type of absolute value equation, we have to solve the two equations ax plus b is equal to k, or ax plus b is equal to the negative of k. So for example, let's consider the absolute value of 3x minus 4 is equal to 12. So in solving for this equation, we have to make sure that one side of the equation contains the absolute value and the other side would be the constant term. So in here, the solution would be to solve the equation 3x minus 4 equals 12, or 3x minus 4 is equal to negative 12. So solving these two equations, we will transpose negative 4 to the other side. So we get 3x is equal to 12 plus 4, which is 16. And for the other equation, it is 3x is equal to negative 12 plus 4, which is negative 8. And then dividing both sides by 3, we will get x is equal to 16 over 3. And for the other equation, it's x is equal to negative 8 over 3. So these two values of x satisfy the following equation. Let's have another example. So let's consider the equation 3 times the absolute value of 2x plus 1 minus 24 is equal to positive 6. So in here, we should transpose negative 24 first to the right side of the equation. So we get 3 times the absolute value of 2x plus 1. And this will be equal to 6 plus 24, which is 30. And then we divide both sides by 3 in order to get absolute value of 2x plus 1 is equal to 30 divided by 3, which is 10. So this equation now follows the format of case number 1. So the solution for this would be 2x plus 1 equals 10, or 2x plus 1 equals negative 10. So for the first equation, transposing positive 1 to the right side, we get 2x is equal to 10 minus 1, which is 9. And then dividing both sides by 2, we get x is equal to 9 over 2. For the second equation, transposing positive 1 to the other side, we get 2x is equal to negative 10 minus 1, which is negative 11. And then dividing both sides by 2, we get x is equal to negative 11 over 2. So these are the solutions of the given equation. Now, what happens whenever our absolute value is equal to a negative number? So for example, if we have the absolute value of x minus 2 is equal to negative 3. Now, case number 1 requires that the constant must be a positive or a non-negative real number. But in this case, our constant is negative. So this equation doesn't have a solution because the left side will always be positive and cannot be equal to a negative number. So this equation or this example doesn't have a solution. Now the second case of our topic is whenever we're solving for the absolute value of a times x plus b is equal to the absolute value of c times x plus b. So to solve this, we need to equate a times x plus b to c times x plus b and equate a times x plus b to the negative of the quantity of c times x plus b. So let us have an example for the following. So let's consider the absolute value of 5x minus 4 is equal to the absolute value of 3x plus 20. So this equation falls under case number 2. So the solution for this equation is 5x minus 4 is equal to 3x plus 20, or 5x minus 4 is equal to the negative of the quantity of 3x plus 20. So for the first equation, transposing 3x to the left side, we get 5x minus 3x, which is 2x. And transposing negative 4 to the right side, we get 20 plus 4, which is 24. And then dividing both sides by 2, we get x is equal to 24 over 2, which is 12. Now for the second equation, we need to distribute the negative sign first to 3x plus 20. So we get 5x minus 4 is equal to negative 3x minus 20. And then transposing negative 3x to the left side will give us 5x plus 3x, which is 8x. And then negative 4, when transposed to the right side, we get negative 20 plus 4, which is negative 60. And then we divide both sides by 8. So we get x is equal to negative 16 divided by 8, which is negative 2. So the solution or the solutions for this equation are x equals 12 and x is equal to negative 2. For our second example, for this case, let's consider the absolute value of 2x plus 4 is equal to the absolute value of 2x minus 8. So according from the process under case number 2, 2x plus 4 is equated to 2x minus 8. And then 2x plus 4 will be equated to the negative of the quantity of 2x minus 8. So for the first equation, transposing 2x from the right side to the left side will give us 0 because that will be 2x minus 2x. And then the 4 will be transposed to the right side, so we get negative 8 minus 4, which is negative 12. So observe that x or the variable x is eliminated here, and thus the resulting equation is 0 equals negative 12, which is always false. So this part or this equation doesn't have a solution. But for the second equation, we shall distribute the negative sign first to 2x minus 8. So we get negative 2x plus 8. And then transposing negative 2x to the left side will give us 4 times x. And the positive 4 will be transposed to the right side. So we get 8 minus 4, which is 4. And then dividing both sides by 4, we get x is equal to 1. So x equals 1 is the solution to this equation. Now for case number 3, we consider the equation a times x plus b equals c times x plus b. So the solution for this case is similar to case number 2. However, we just need to check our solutions by substituting them into the original equation, because some of the solutions that we will get from this case could be extraneous solutions. So those extraneous solutions are extra solutions in which when you substitute them into the original equation will not result into an equality. Okay, so the solution here will be a times x plus b equated to c times x plus b, or a times x plus b is equated to the negative of c times x plus b. But again, as I said earlier, checking is required here. Okay, so let's have an example. let's solve for the absolute value of 4x plus 3 is equal to x minus 3. So this equation falls under case 3. So the solution would be 4 times x plus 3 equated to x minus 3. And then the second equation would be 4x plus 3 equated to the negative of x minus 3. So for the first equation, transposing x to the left side, we get 4x minus x, which is 3x. And then positive 3 will be transposed to the right side. So negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. So dividing both sides by 3 will give us x equal to negative 2. Now for the second equation, we need to distribute the negative sign. So we have 4x plus 3 is equal to negative x plus 3. And then transposing negative x to the left side, we get 4x plus x, which is 5x. While when we transpose 3 to the right side, we get 3 minus 3, which is 0. And then dividing both sides by 5, we will get x is equal to 0. Now, if we check our answers or our solutions to the original problem, then you might find an extraneous solution. So for the checking part, here we have 4 times negative 2 plus 3. Is that equal to negative 2 minus 3? So 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. And then the absolute value of negative 5 is positive 5. However, in the right side, negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. So this tells us that x equals negative 2 is not part of the solution of this equation. Now, for the second one, so using x equals 0, we have the absolute value of 4 times 0 plus 3 is not equal to 0 minus 3. 4 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. The absolute value of 3 is 3. And then 0 minus 3 here is negative 3. So again, 3 is not equal to negative 3. So therefore, x equals 0 is not part of the solution for this equation. So since both x equals negative 2 and x equals 0 are not part of the solution, then this problem has no solution. So for our last example, let's consider the absolute value of 2 over 3x minus 5 is equal to 2x minus 1. So again, this falls under case number 3. So we're going to solve for 2/3 times x minus 5 equated to 2x minus 1. And then for the second equation, we have 2/3 times x minus 5 is equal to the negative of this, which is negative 2x plus 1. And then, since both equations contain denominator 3, so we shall multiply both sides of the equations by 3. So we multiply them by 3. So for the first equation, the left side becomes 2x minus 15. And then the right side becomes 6x minus 3. And for the second equation, the left side becomes 2x minus 15, while the right side becomes negative 6x plus 3. So transposing 6x to the left side, we get 2x minus 6x, that's negative 4x. And then negative 15 transposed to the right side, we get positive 12. And then dividing both sides by negative 4, we get x is equal to negative 3. And then for the second equation, transposing negative 6x to the left side, we get 8x. That's 2x plus 6x is 8x. And then transposing negative 15 to the right side, we get 3 plus 15, which is 18. And then dividing both sides by 8, we get x is equal to 18 over 8, which is 9 over 4. So for the checking part, we have 2/3 times negative 3 minus 5 is that equal to 2 times negative 3 minus 1. So for the left side, that gives us negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7. And the absolute value of negative 7 is positive 7. For the right side, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And then minus 1 is negative 7. So these are not equal. So therefore, x equals negative 3 is not part of the solution of this equation. And then for the second solution, we have x is equal to 9 over 4. So substituting this value into the original equation, we get 2/3 times 9 over 4 minus 5 is equal to 2 times 9 over 4 minus 1. So the left side, 2/3 times 9 over 4 will be, this will be 3 times 2, 6 over 4. So 3 over 2 minus 5, that will be negative 7 over 2. So negative 7 over 2, absolute value of negative 7 over 2 is positive 7 over 2. Now for the second, for the right side, 2 times 9 over 4 is uh, 9 over 2. And then we have minus 1, which is 7 over 2 as well. So in this case, x equals 9 over 4 is the only solution of this equation. So this ends the video about equations involving absolute values. And I hope that you learned something here. So please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.